BR, nothing but rants, show where I find topics that I'm rather passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I am hot about.
Nothing but rants.
Hot takes.
3-point stance, we advance. Ball in my hands, I don't take no chance. Touchdown dance, that's my jam. No hot takes, this is nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. You know Brooks finna cook, let him rant. Try to do it like us, but you can't. Stay the young, going dumb with the chance. Big plays lead to even bigger fans. What's up? What's the word? What's the play? What we talking about? On the scene with the team, yeah, we popping out. NBR, let's get it, let's go. Film guy, get on ready for the show. What it is, what it ain't, what's happening? We gon' hit you with the stats and the facts, man. NBR, let's get it, let's go. Film guy, get on ready for the show. 3-point stance, we advance. Ball in my hands, I don't take no chance. Touchdown dance, that's my jam. No hot takes, this is nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. Hey, shout it end zone dancing. We about to start it up, it's the anthem. That right, big rings got me handsome. Hold them up like we came for the ransom. I'm in the field, 2-minute drill. Highlight reel, let's review, what's the deal, okay? Watching footage going out of control. Buckle up, we got an hour to go, so let's go, that's straight heat. Ain't no chillin' around here, back that back, Nat Chance, how we feelin' around here? Got my whole squad in the building around here. If my name ain't on it, then I really don't care, come on. 3-point stance, we advance. Ball in my hands, I don't take no chance. Touchdown dance, that's my jam. No hot takes, this is nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. Hey. Yeah.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to MBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. What's up? You really like that? What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in to the Film Guy Network on a fabulous Sunday afternoon on a solo show, or as we're calling it around here, I think we're going to call this the Eat Crow Show. This is the show that Brooksy stands up on the microphone and for about 65% of what went down this weekend, flat dead wrong. Flat dead wrong. Absolutely dead wrong. And I guess that's where we probably should start, because every Ohio State fan that's ever been on social media is out here cooking me. So that includes Brian Hartline. All right. So everybody's getting after your boy today. So might as well start with that. We might as well eat the crow most up front, right? Might as well tell you where we are dead flat wrong, and we were dead flat wrong on this one. So let's talk about it. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, rate, review. We've got a great show planned for you guys today. No telling how long we are going to be here, but going to go through all of these first round college football playoffs. Going to give you my thoughts and reactions off of that, why I was so wrong. A lot of people coming to find out that today, not only to laugh at Brooksy, but find out why. Why were you so dead wrong? So much so that you put the mortgage up, Brooks. You put money where your mouth was, and you got it flat wrong. Why were you so wrong? We're going to talk about that today. But we're also going to preview the upcoming round 2 college football playoff matchups as well. Give you our thoughts and, not necessarily premonitions on those going forward, but just, preview those as we get set up. And just some thoughts about where we are with the college football playoff. A lot of bitching and moaning and bickering on social media. We'll talk about that today. But, man, let's start with the college football round 1 where we were flat wrong, and that was that Ohio State matchup between Tennessee and Ohio State. 40,000 Tennessee fans stormed Ohio Stadium just to watch an absolute can get opened by the Buckeyes. Going into this one, man, I made some critical errors. Obviously, I picked Tennessee to win this football game outright. They were 7.5-point underdogs. And I guess Vegas saw these things that I did not see, even though some of them I've been talking about. Like, I've been talking about the fact that Tennessee is a very flawed football team, but felt like they were coaching their way and, using Dylan Sampson to a way and leaning on a defense to a way to. They were a formidable college football playoff opponent, but some things that I blaringly missed over or looked over, like this one right here. Thinking anything, number one mistake, thinking anything that I saw from Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant was about to be replicated by this Tennessee defensive line. Like, I know Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant are great football players. I knew that. I said that. I talked about that. But I thought Tennessee's defensive line was going to be able to make some type of plays. They didn't. For 4 quarters, Tennessee's defensive line did not really make an impact on this football game. James Pierce had a couple flashy plays, but that's not what I was talking about. Looking at that Michigan tape and seeing the way Ohio State's running game was kind of neutralized in that football game, it was all about the interior of that defensive line for Michigan, and I thought, mistakenly, that Tennessee's defensive line was going to be able to summon anything relative to that performance, anything near that performance from those two uniquely great football players. So that was my first and foremost and most glaring mistake, because it was obvious from jump that Ohio State's offensive line was going to move them jokers. Ohio State's offensive line came out in this football game a lot like the rest of the Buckeye football team, pissed off with a reason to play and a reason to go out there and move people against their will, and they did exactly that. So if you want to know where I was most wrong in that football game, in my opinion, right there, and we'll finish it with the last one. My God, Will Howard. We'll talk about that. Number 2, I should have known that everything, or at least I should have taken it with a grain of salt, everything in that Michigan film that we watched, all right, and everything about that line of scrimmage battle that gets put on display in that football game, my football knowledge, my college football knowledge should have told me, hey, dummy, that's a rivalry game. Hey, dummy, that's a rivalry game with blue chippers on the defensive side of the football from Michigan. Hey, dummy, Ryan Day is great against everybody that doesn't wear the maize in blue. Hey, dummy. That's what I should have known. Like, I'm mad at myself today because you idiot. Rivalry games should be excused. You make the excuse for Auburn, Alabama every single time they go to Jordan-Hare. You made the excuse, you homer idiot, for Georgia against Georgia Tech. You made the excuse. You watched Georgia look like a completely different football team the next week against Texas. You idiot. Why? Why did I not? I don't know. I'm going to learn from it. I'm going to tell you that right now. We are just going to wipe our hands with Michigan versus Ohio State tape every single year. That's what we're just going to do. But the game plan was totally different too. Game plan was totally different. They have been very, and we'll talk about this, they have been very repetitive in their passing game concepts all year at Ohio State. So completely different. They reverted back to old Ohio State passing concepts, the deep overs, the deep ball shot, like we have a great wide receiver like Marvin Harrison Jr. last year. All right. Okay. Well, in great games, we're just going to make sure this guy gets 15 targets. Well, guess what? They dusted that one off and just made the Marvin Harrison game plan, the Jeremiah Smith game plan. Where's it been all year? I don't know. They've done the deep shots to this guy. But the 3rd and 4s, the short yardage, we're going to get this guy on a drag and let him run for 15 yards after the catch. All that stuff was just straight out of the Marvin Harrison playbook. And I don't know why I didn't think that they were going to find it. Maybe because they hadn't done it all year. They've been kind of like making him win, not designing him to win. And now they dust off the let's design our best player to win game plan. And what do you know? 220 yards, the best player on the field. Incredible, right? I should have trusted that to happen. I should have known that was going to happen. I ignored the signs of it, right? I ignored the signs of it. Number 3, I trusted Tennessee to win the rushing battle. They lost big time. Now, they only lost by 2 yards, and it was like 156 to 154 if you look at the box score, but that wasn't what we watched. And well, we watched it all. We watched a conventional run game from Tennessee get put into a box. Now, I can make an excuse. I can sit here and say, well, my analysis going into that football game was all about Dylan Sampson being healthy, and he only had 2 carries in this football game, and he was banged up with a partial hamstring. By the way, Heupel, Vegas knew that Dylan Sampson was injured. I certainly did not, because I'm out here on Paul Feinbaum saying Tennessee's going to win outright, looking like a dumb idiot. So that would have certainly helped if you had the SEC Offensive Player of the Year a little bit healthy, but that's an excuse. The reality is Tennessee's offensive line got that ass whipped to start this football game. Now, here's the deal. They kind of been getting whipped all year up front, and Dylan Sampson's just kind of made everybody right a whole lot, okay? And having him not there certainly impacted this football game. But they got whipped on both lines of scrimmage up front for 4 quarters. I did not expect that to happen. That's on me. So that was a critical mistake. Number 4, I should have known. I'll save that one for last. Number 4, light boxes, okay? I should have known Ohio State's defensive line was going to get in there with light boxes and stop the run. I should have known that. I should have given them credit. Jack Sawyer, JT Tuimoloau, great football players. Not only great football players, big, physical, not going to get twitchy in their eval on the next level, guys. Those are physical, in your face, put you in the back of the or in the backfield type of football players. Those are not run around you, dance around you football players. Those are punch you in your effing mouth football players, and I failed to realize that. This guy's wrong, okay? So credit to them 100% on that defensive side of the football. And by the way, as the lead got bigger for Ohio State, the boxes got lighter on the defensive side of the football. Did y'all notice that? They were playing 4-man boxes at one point in that football game. Just saying, hey, linebackers, hang out in the extended box with your eyes on the box. If they pull the ball out of the belly of the running back, bail. If they don't, commit to the run at that point. It's okay. We're going to clog it up in the middle with our 4 defensive linemen, and they did exactly that. I should have known that. 91's a good football player, too. I failed to remember or mention him. That was a good football game from those guys, and they're veteran football players. They've been really, really good football players for 3 or 4 years. This I've known, right? I studied that same exact unit with another defensive tackle. I think Hall was his name. It's basically the same exact unit that played in that Peach Bowl in 2022, okay? The linebackers are different. The DBs are different. That's the same core 3-4 players on that defensive line. They've been really good, really big, really physical for a long time. I should have known they check up the box that is required to stop Tennessee, which is you got to stop the run with light counts. And they did exactly that for 4 quarters. Number 5, and the biggest L on this guy's forehead, okay? And the biggest reason that every Ohio State fan in my mentions gets to do it, all right, and gets to go ahead and make me look goofy and make me not want to check Twitter for the next 4 or 5 days, because it does get a little bit repetitive. The number one thing, it's number 5 on the list, but the number one thing I failed to realize going into this game was the moment I put money on Tennessee, Will Howard was going to become a supervillain. Okay, he was going to play the best game of his life, because that's how I work. Y'all notice, like, I don't do gambling. I give out picks, okay, that I think you should gamble on. And when I give out picks this year, I think we finished the year 17-7 on picks, okay, on locks, all right? But when I put money where my big, loud-ass freaking mouth is, you can bet your ass I'm losing. You can bet everything that you love. You can just fade me because I finally put money on it. And we're going to lose that football game. Last year, guess what my big play was? Alabama versus Michigan in the Rose Bowl. And guess who looked like an idiot? Guess who went over 1 million views on social media, all right, with people telling him he's a dumbass? This guy. I should have learned my lesson. The moment I put money on against Will Howard, he was going to go out there and have the game of his life. Feels like 15 degrees, wind blowing, 40,000 Tennessee fans in attendance. You just had the worst performance of the year at home. You know what You know what Will Howard's going to do? Will Howard's going to go out here and throw what I call from now on Strider dots. What are Strider dots, Brooksy? Those are dots that he hits wide receivers dead ass in stride. You go look at that tape. You go look at that tape from last night. You tell me if Will Howard had a single ball that was completed that had a wide receiver stopping, or had a wide receiver waiting on a ball, or had a wide receiver going up to have the high point of football, or, ooh, look, wide receiver Jeremiah Smith's 5 yards downfield beyond that corner. Oh, look, this ball's going to get underthrown. Nope. Stride. In stride, Strider dots all night long. And it only happened because I put money on Will Howard. Nah, dude. I should have known. Here's how I knew. Here's when I knew. I was flat out cooked. I was in deep shit trouble. I was up a creek without a paddle at this moment right here. I should have went on Twitter, started fading myself immediately. They wouldn't have gave me credit. They would have found my old tweets anyways and cooked me for saying Tennessee was going to win, for saying they had the more consistent, stable running game, for saying they had the more capable quarterback, both of which got made hilariously wrong last night. But here's where I knew, guys. I was in trouble, absolutely in trouble. When the big boys in pregame came out tits out, when the big boys from Tennessee came out in pregame shirtless, okay, I knew I was in big trouble. Because here's the deal. 3 things. Number 1, that is the biggest display of fake toughness that there is. Ooh, it's cold outside. I'm going to let everybody know that I'm not cold by going out here shirtless and showing them, ooh, how tough I am. Well, if you got to show somebody how tough you are, that's fake toughness. What is fake toughness? I got a top 5 things of fake toughness to really hammer home the definition of fake toughness. Number 5, not shaking hands with your opponent at the coin toss. You're fake tough. That's just a display of toughness. That's not actual toughness. Number 4, hand-picking fights. That's every world champion boxer. You're fake tough. You ain't out here fighting the real homies. You're fake tough. You out here hand-picking fights. Kirk Signetti buying your way out of Power 4 out-of-conference games to schedule mid-majors that you know you can beat at home. Fake tough, sir. That is fake tough. That's what that is. Ooh, we beat top 25 teams. We're that fake tough. That's what you are. Number 3, anybody who bucks, you're fake tough. You're 100% fake tough, okay? I have never seen anybody who gives up and wins the fight. You're fake tough. That's what you are. Number 2, shirtless in pregame in the cold. You're fake tough. You're 100% fake tough. Number 1, if you got kids at home, earmuffs, okay? Anybody in an altercation that's doing the, I'll fuck you up, pussy, that guy's fake tough. I have never seen that guy ever win a fight. And I watch a bunch of fights on social media. The I'll F you up P word is the biggest fake tough guy in the crowd. Close second, guy who goes out in cold games shirtless. You are fake tough, especially, and here's number 2, when I knew I was cooked, when you're out here shirtless in pregame, just doused in Vaseline. If you got the Vaseline on pregame, you look like you're dead sweating and you look like an oily figure when it's 18 degrees outside, you're fake tough. You're fake tough. You got Vaseline on trying to tell everybody you're tough. If you were tough, you wouldn't have the Vaseline on. Also, you could tell, guys, the deep breaths through the mouth, avoiding the nostril breathing. This one right here, that MFer is cold. He can act like he's tough all he wants. That MFer is cold. But here's what I knew. Here's what I really knew. All those signs were bad signs. But after we come out, you know, ooh, we don't like, we ain't worried about the cold. We out here shirtless. And then you come out first possession in the thick, long sleeve thermals on the line of scrimmage. You are indeed cold. You are indeed fake tough. You are indeed about to take a fat ass L and have Brooksy looking stupid on social media. I was cooked. Meanwhile, Will Howard out here sleeveless, ready to absolutely die on his sword. I was in such trouble. Man, that Jeremiah Smith sure is good, huh? Sure is good, huh? I'm not going to name any names, but I remember being at the Elite 11 last in his senior year. And I remember going from the Elite 11 to the opening or whatever the hell that was, and then going from the opening to the overtime event. And Jeremiah Smith is at all of these Jeremiah Smith is balling, doing alien shit at all of these. And I remember going to, and I like to do this. I don't want your opinion to just sway mine, but I want your opinion just to see where mine's at. So I'm going around to all the big wigs that all you guys trust in the recruiting industry, and they probably won't talk to me after this, but I'm going to all of them. And I'm like, hey, man, what y'all think about Jeremiah Smith? Because I'm just trying to, because I think he's Julio. That's what I think he is. As a high school player at Chaminade, I'm like, guys, this is the best wide receiver I've ever seen. I know we got Chris Henry Jr. coming up, and he's a freak too, but this dude is the next Julio Jones, but can like really catch the football. It's the thing that people forget about Julio every once in a while. He tend to drop them. This guy don't. This guy never drops them. And I'm sitting here thinking like, this guy's Julio. And I start going around and I'm like, hey, man, what you think of this kid? Because I think this guy's Julio. Meanwhile, he's like, I think he's pretty good. But Julio, man, I don't even think he's as good as some of these guys we've seen in the last couple cycles. Go to the next guy. Same kind of, I think he's good, but I don't know if we're going that far. I'm going that far. That dude is a baller. That dude is a flat out baller. So yeah, and he's gonna get much, much better. I don't know if that's even possible, but it's gonna happen. And it's gonna be on stats alone, not off the skill set, because I think he could play on Sundays right now. It's gonna be off opportunities, because I think it took maybe 14 games for Ohio State and Chip Kelly and Ryan Day to realize, oh, hey, guys, we were damn near a playoff team last year with a quarterback that we thought wasn't good enough, with Marvin Harrison Jr. just making sure that we get him 20 targets every single game. Or at least if we're going to call 70 plays, let's make sure 20 of them have the sole intention to get to Jeremiah. And then if we don't get to Jeremiah, maybe we get to Emeka, or maybe we get to the tight end, or maybe we check the ball down, right? But we're going to make sure that if we get 75 snaps, 20 of these are going to go to our best player. I know, right? Crazy idea. Just dusted off the old game plan, and he went for 220. I expect them moving forward to do exactly that. I expect when you play Ohio State, Oregon, you're going to have to stop Jeremiah Smith first and foremost, and then the rest of that has to get solved. But it's hard to do. And I kept seeing on social media, why aren't they rolling safety help over the top? Every time they were hitting deep overs, I guarantee you safeties were rolling over the top. We'll watch the all 22. I plan to do all of those first-round games to kind of preview the next ones for you guys. But I expect to see safeties rolling over the top of Jeremiah Smith, and then all of a sudden deep overs are hitting. And all of a sudden those big, long, intermediate to deep routes are starting to open up, right? So you can sit there on social media every time he gets beat and say, where's the safety help? And you're not saying, where's the safety on the deep over? Because you are already bitching about Jeremiah Smith. That's how defense works. Or how offense and defense works. We make you vulnerable here. You adjust to make yourself whole there. You're now vulnerable where you made yourself whole. There you go. I don't even know where I'm at in my notes. Oh, let's go to Tennessee. No, let's keep talking about Ohio State. I did not expect that offense to look like that and execute like that, particularly up front. You got to give them credit. I'm wrong. They're right. They're better. They're awesome. They're the best team in college football. I'm an idiot. Shut the hell up. Scarlet, black, gold, or whatever their color scheme is. They're the best. I'm wrong. You're right. All that good stuff. Even got quote tweeted by Brian Hartline. Brian Hartline was out here bookmarking my tweets to make sure that when he got that fat dub, he came back and gave me some hell on that one. So there you go. Couple things I have learned off this from the Ohio State perspective. Okay, I need to lose some more weight. Or at least I gained weight during the season, because I can always tell. I get on the scale every day, but I can always tell just how big I am and just how fat I am, not by what I see in cameras, but what I see in the mentions. Because normally, if I have a bad take and I'm in a good weight, normally people are like, this guy's just an idiot. But when I'm loud wrong and loud wrong fat, this guy's a dumb fat idiot. So we got an offseason to get right. Let's talk about Tennessee. No Dylan Sampson, no dub. Simple. No Dylan Sampson, no dub. That's how it's going to be. Not making excuses, because the homie was 25 points loud wrong. And he was really 42 points loud wrong, because that felt 42-0. We all agree? I was 42 points loud wrong. However, I was loud wrong with the best player in my prediction not being available. Only 2 totes, couple of catches out of the backfield, semi-excuse. But they got whipped up front. Number 6, I told you, been taking care of all of those. We've been getting whipped up front problems all year. And I wish I would have known that there was a hamstring problem, which they said it happened against Vandy. I sure as hell would have liked to have known that, Josh. Sure as hell would have liked to have known that. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. 21-10 after the half, you get the ball back. And my memory could be wrong here, but I think I'm dead on this. Ball after the half, 21-10. If you score 21-17, we got us a ball game. Despite all the shit show that's been going on, we've got life if we go down and score. 3rd and 7, ball on their end. We run a check with me and call a sprint option into the boundary. Now, here's the deal. People will say, but they had the look, Brooks. Guys, I've been watching it. I've been watching on tape every week. People have been giving them that look all year on 3rd and long. And guess what? They do it all year. They've been doing it all year. And I think I've seen it convert maybe like once or twice. Hated the play call. Absolutely hated the play call. And, I thought at that point, it's like, all right, well, shit. That's it. That's done. Game over. 21-10. You had an opportunity. 3rd and 7. We don't put the ball in the air. I thought it was a bad play call. I didn't like it. Again, I know Josh could come on this show and he could say, Brooks, we had the look. Yeah, you had the look, but we're asking our right tackle to win for 7 yards in space. We're asking our tight end to win for 7 yards in space. We're asking our quarterback to make the safety who's a free hat miss with 7 yards of space. We're asking all of these things as opposed to just saying, hey, can we block for 2.5 seconds? Can we win? And can we complete a ball? See what I'm saying? And again, have had it all year, have done it all year, have checked into it all year, have gotten whipped on it most of the time all year. Hated the play call. But I failed to admit, and again, it's a loud wrong Brooksy segment. This is 28 minutes of why would you ever listen to me? I'm loud wrong. I knew all year, and I talked about it all year, and I gave credit to Josh Heupel all year for how flawed this football team was. And I told you they have no offensive line, or at least not a consistent offensive line. They have no weapons that are healthy and consistently healthy, and they have no experience at the quarterback position. I told you that leading up to this football game. And I said, but look at Josh Heupel. Look at the way he's morphed this football team. Look at the way they've leaned on Dylan Sampson. Look at the way that they've leaned on defense. Look at the way that they've leaned on special teams. All 3 of those things failed me. Dylan Sampson completely unhealthy and unavailable. Defense getting whipped. Defensive backs getting just absolutely blown by. This Tennessee defensive backfield has looked good on tape all year. They didn't show up. Worst game of the year all year by Tennessee, and it's my fault because I put money on them. I saved TreVeyon Henderson for last because that is the best football game of that kid's career. And if you go look at if you go look at the high school tape, if you go look at the high school tape and the freshman tape, that dude is a freak. I think he went 1,200 yards freshman year, banged up, a couple injuries, right? That looked like him. That looked like the guy that I thought we were always going to see at Ohio State in TreVeyon Henderson. So, elite football player, elite story, and I'm glad he had that football game last night for him, all right? Loud Wrong Part 2. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're liking. Make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you're rating and reviewing, okay? Make sure you're doing all of those things, all right? If you're not, I'll earn it. I'll earn it from you for the rest of the show, okay? Let's move on. What the hell was I thinking picking SMU, guys? I went back and watched it. I went back and watched Thursday's show. And I picked Penn State in all of the shows leading up to this last week. And the film got me. But I even watched it. I went back and watched Thursday's show. God counted it. I waited 7 seconds. I waited 7 seconds of dead silence, which is a radio no-no. I waited 7 seconds before I mustered up what I thought was courage, which was just stupidity, to sit out here and go, oh, I got SMU 34-31. No, you fat-headed moron. You didn't believe that. You did not believe that. Why did you say that? Because you felt like you had to go against the grain. You felt like you had to make a pick that wasn't, a dead favorite winning the football game. Why? I knew he was a turnover problem. I knew Kevin Jennings was a massive turnover liability. I sat here and told myself, he's hold your breath football. He's hold your breath football. The whole time you watch him, you're going to pray that nothing catastrophic happens. And it was nothing but catastrophic things happening. That's it. Catastrophic thing after catastrophic thing after catastrophic thing. You're holding your breath the entire time with no exhale. No exhale. I died of suffocation. That's what I did. I died of suffocation and dumbassery takes. I know why I did it. I did it because I looked at Oregon's tape against Penn State, and I watched Penn State in that football game look confused by alignment and assignment and pace for 3 quarters in that football game. And I thought, mistakenly, that SMU, a football team designed off pace, space, confusion, misalignment, getting you off balance, I thought they would be able to do that. They weren't. And I know that window dressing does not travel. I know that. This guy, I know that. This is painful. Is this painful for you guys as an audience to sit here and watch a guy have regret for 35 minutes on a stream? We're going to get to the kind of rights to finish. And look, social media let me know that I'm just a dumb idiot and that, I don't know any football. Guy doesn't know ball. Maybe guy knows too much ball. Maybe he's paralysis by analysis guy. Social media let me know, despite the fact that 2 of the 4 games went almost exactly like I thought. It worked. I thought I was going to have a great week. Friday night, I'm nailing predictions 3 plays in. We'll get to that, but damn. I thought Penn State's defensive line played great in that football game. I thought the environment was nuts. I thought of all the home field environments, Penn State's was the most impactful, right? They had 2 false starts in the red zone, okay? They obviously had Kevin Jennings doing this one all day long. So I didn't see that from Nico. I didn't see that from Curtis Rourke. I may have been mistaken. But I thought the Penn State home field environment was nuts. I thought all these home field environments were worth talking about, but they all are. Shocker. We have loud environments with 85,000 home field, our home fans going nuts. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. I knew the environments were going to be crazy. I thought Penn State's had the most impact on the football game. I could be wrong. You guys tell me. I thought Penn State's environment was nuts. I thought they also did did y'all see the story about the billionaires from SMU? Oh, if you haven't, let me fill you in. When the room's empty, I forget about this doing solo shows. It's hard to make jokes because no one's in here laughing. So if you don't know if jokes land, that's the hardest thing. B, open-ended questions, right? There's no one here to go, no, I didn't see that. Did you guys see the SMU billionaire story? No, Brooks, we didn't. All right, here's what happened. There's only one local airport near Happy Valley or near Penn State, right? State College, I think is what they call it. There's only one local, airport that you can fly into there. So here's what they did. They had that one overbooked, or there were too many planes in. So all of the private jets flying from Dallas had to be diverted to another local airport 2.5 hours way away from the stadium. So most of the SMU billionaire boosters that bought really nice seats for this football game missed the entire first quarter. So they showed up and they were down 21-0, and Kevin Jennings had already thrown multiple pick sixes. That's bad. That would suck. That would be the worst way to waste thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. But when you have millions and millions, you know what I mean? Kind of one of those things. We're not going to feel bad for you, buddy. Going back to the oil money, I bet you struck it this weekend. You know what I mean? I bet one of the magical holes that you was out drilling in West Texas just sprouted oil. And now all of a sudden, your grandbabies is multimillionaires, not just you because your granddaddy hit oil. If you haven't heard my take about oil money, go on back. They literally call it striking oil. It's a matter of luck. Kind of right. 0 right in that football game. 0 right in that one. 0 right in the Ohio State-Tennessee game. We were kind of right in this one. And I'm okay with kind of being right. Texas controlled Clemson in that football game. I was kind of right because I definitely did not expect that much offense. With those two defenses, I did not expect that much offense to be created in this football game. I was kind of right. I did expect Texas to overwhelmingly control this football game. The only avenue to Clemson's success, I thought, was like a 14-10 rock fight, which I did think could possibly happen. And I'll tell you why I was wrong on that one. But, man, Cade Klubnik, I think the world saw what we saw on tape from Cade Klubnik when we broke him down. That guy makes big-time throws. It's a very interesting and confusing evaluation. He's going to have a very long and not illustrious, but he's going to have a long and lengthy and fruitful NFL career in terms of contract length and contract money because he's going to be on NFL rosters for a long time, I think. Smart, does everything right, knows playbooks, knows how to control pockets, can be escapable, right? He's an athlete. He can make plays with his legs, and he makes big-time throws. All right, he makes a lot of them, and you can see them on tape, and you saw them in that football game. First quarterback all year to go for more than 250 yards passing against Texas, and he went for over 300 yards. He had a great football game and was the sole reason, including his legs in the running department, that they were even in that football game in any point in that game. He had a great one, as did Antonio Williams. Antonio Williams was and is a problem. Okay, I think he's going to go to the NFL and be a pseudo problem. I think Antonio Williams is going to be great on the next level because he's smart. He can get open. He always catches the football, and he's twitchy, right? He's an athlete enough on top of all the lunch pail characteristics that he's got, right? By the way, I'll give Antonio Williams this comp. He is Wes Welker. That's what he is. I think he's going to go to the next level and be that. I think he's going to be a slot weapon on the next level. But without Phil Maffa in this football game, with him being banged up, man, you saw him. They were doing everything they possibly could to just create run games, right? They put the wide receiver, the kick returner, number 8, they put him in at running back, and he had a couple of rippers, right? Cade Klubnik's legs and the design quarterback run game and quarterback draw game were an obvious point in this football game. But here's the deal. The offense was not the problem. The problem with Texas, and the problem always with Texas, and as long as Sarkisian is there, in my opinion, you're going to have to stop wide zone. Whether you call it wide zone, stretch zone, outside zone, I don't care. You're going to have to stop wide zone. And if you can't do it, you are not beating this football team. Okay? They averaged 6.1 yards per carry in this football game. And if you allow Texas to rush for anything more than 4.0 yards per carry this year, guess what they've done? They've scored damn near 40, and they put up damn near 500 yards of total offense. That's what they're going to do to you. All right? And here was the problem for Clemson. They could not. Now, they weren't getting displaced, right? They weren't having their defensive line, if this is the line of scrimmage, they weren't having their defensive line getting pushed back. But what they were having their defensive line do is having creases created by offensive linemen from Texas being able to reach them. Okay, Clemson is a great north and south football team on the defensive side of the football. When they're able to come downhill, or whenever you're trying to go downhill at them, they're going to whip your ass. They're going to whip your ass. They're going to whip your ass. That's what they're going to do. They got big bodies. They can physically stand up against a vertical run game. But when you go taking them east and west and you start stretching them, you're going to start creasing them. All right, and that's exactly what happened. And I thought the return of Kelvin Banks in this football game was obvious, but the inability for Clemson's defensive ends to set hard edges, right, get upfield and turn that ball back inside, back to those defensive tackles, their inability to do that was obvious, right? Those two Jaden Blue runs were the exact definition of what it requires to stop Texas. If you can't stop stretch zone, you're going to get your ass beat. And that's exactly what happened. There was never a point in that football game where Texas got the ball and I thought, oh, Clemson's okay. No, Clemson was going to get ran on for the majority of that football game, and you could see it from the start. In my opinion, I could see it. When the moment I saw wide zone starting to hit and crease like that, way too easy, way too easy. And that's why I feel like Dabo said at his halftime press conference or halftime, little speech with the sideline reporter. He's like, hey, look, man, they're eating us up. They're shredding us right now in the run game. we're in trouble. We're in trouble. We got to get easier stops, and it was impossible for them to do so. By the way, Texas, Ohio State, and Oregon on one side of the bracket, my God. My God. Troublesome. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. We do not have enough likes on the video for how many people are watching this video. I know I don't have a bottom line ticker that's going there telling you to like the video and telling you to subscribe. I just hope the quality of product that I'm laying down for you is enough to earn that. Let's get after it. Where I was right. I was dead right in that Notre Dame-Indiana football game. 3 plays in, I tweeted, we are 3 plays in, and I know Indiana is in trouble. Indiana is in absolute trouble. Big trouble. Reason being, can't run the ball. Can't run the ball versus elite competition. That has been Indiana. Now, we only knew this because they played 3 blue chip rosters all year. They played 3 blue chippers on the defensive side of the football all year. Michigan boxed them for some 1.7. Ohio State boxed them for some 1.7. Notre Dame boxed them for some 2.3. And that's about how I'll go. Michigan's run defense, Ohio State's run defense, Notre Dame's run defense, everybody else that Indiana played all year long's run defense. Okay? It ain't even close. And I figured that if Notre Dame, especially with Howard Cross coming back, if Notre Dame had an ability to limit this run game, Indiana's in deep shit. Look, I know everybody in college football has fallen in love since about 2012, has fallen in love with RPOs. I understand that. I love RPOs too. Actually, I don't. I hate them. I like RPOs. I understand why coordinators run them. They get us in a winnable position on every single snap. That's what you tell yourself. That's what you tell yourself all the time, Kirk Cignetti. That's what you tell yourself all the time, Hugh Freeze. That's what you tell yourself all the time, RPO genius on the high school level. You tell yourself that, and I'm here. But here's the deal. If you can't run the ball, all right, conventionally with your running back, that eliminates the run option of your RPO. All right, if you don't have a quarterback that's dynamic with his legs, Curtis Rourke, you eliminate the option out of that. So now we're down to the pass, right? But you can't run the ball, and your quarterback's not an option with his legs. So guess what I get to do as a defense? I get to walk down in your face and play man-to-man bump and run, which means guess what you can't do? You can't create immediate separation at the line of scrimmage to get to your option or to your pass on this RPO. So let me break it down for you. We can't run the ball. We have no run. We can't run with the quarterback because he doesn't have legs. We have no option. Now they are walking down and we can't get any separation at the line of scrimmage. Now we have no pass. Now guess what we have? We have no offense. So what did you see Indiana's offense result to last night when they had success? 50-50 balls down the sideline, back shoulder fades, right? Thank God they had Surratt, or else they'd have been in some real trouble, right? So I'm all for RPOs. I am all for RPOs. But they still require us to win at the line of scrimmage, right? Consistently be able to run the ball. They still require a dynamic athlete at the quarterback position. And they still require us to create separation at the line of scrimmage. All of those things still exist. All of those things still exist. All right, so what's best? What's the best way to create offense? Line up, beat the guy in front of you. Oh, right? Whoa, that's crazy, right? Pro-style offenses, things that are dependent upon, all right? Passing concepts like what Ohio State got back to, right? Passing concepts like what Oregon is getting to, right? Those types of deep game passing attacks that require offensive lines to win at the line of scrimmage in pass pro, right? Run concepts that aren't based off gimmick or aren't based off leverage, right? They're based off we're going to move you against your will. Those things travel. Those things play against blue chippers. Those things win national titles, my opinion. Because guys, I didn't think those two teams were, and this is what social media does. Social media is out on Twitter, and they're telling you that Indiana was outclassed in that football game. Let's do it this way. Who's got the best throwing quarterback in that football game all year? You have to make a throw. Who are you taking? Curtis Rourke, Riley Leonard. It's going to sound crazy to some people. I'm taking Curtis Rourke because I've studied the tape. He is a tight window thrower. Riley Leonard, far better college quarterback. Why? He's able to run the football. He's an elite football player at the college level. who's going to have a much longer and fruitful NFL career? I think Curtis Rourke might be a long-time backup. I don't know what Ryan Leonard's NFL career looks like. All right. Jeremiah Love's the best running back in that football game. All right. Curtis Rourke's the better thrower. I'm taking Surratt as the best wide receiver in that football game. Are you? Right? Are you taking Colsey? Are you taking Jaden Thomas? Are you taking number 1? Are you taking number 5, who I'm drawing a blank on? Are you taking any of those guys from Notre Dame? Because I thought Surratt is a really, really good winner of the football. I think he runs routes. He's 6'3". He's 205. He's a great football player. All right? Right? I didn't think those two teams were terribly outmatched except for one area, line of scrimmage. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. You're telling me that the mismatch at the line of scrimmage can be that daunting to make people think that Indiana was completely outclassed? Yes. This is a line of scrimmage sport. So line of scrimmage time of year. That's what this is. Look, did we get a single good football game in this first round of the college football playoff? No, we did not. Would Bama versus Notre Dame have been a better football game? I think so. I think everyone watching this, except for Indiana fans and Kirk Cignetti, thinks so. Would Miami versus Penn State have been a better football game? I think so. I think you think so. But we have what we have. I don't have some magic take for you guys on fixing what we have right now. I don't think there's some obvious answer. Oh, wait, but there is. There is a clear-cut, obvious answer to avoid what we had go on this weekend. Will y'all stop giving out auto buys? I think that's the problem. I'm all for fairness and inclusivity. Do not think I'm we need a super league guy. I don't believe that. Hell, I played small school football. I think small school football is the lifeblood of this sport. I don't believe that. I don't want a super league, but what I don't want is conference champions like Oregon and Georgia to be rewarded with their conference championship by playing Ohio State in the first round and by playing Notre Dame in the first round, when the two losers of those conference championship games get rewarded with their losses by playing Boise State and Arizona State. We have been playing brackets forever. We've had brackets for as long as sports have been created. As long as I've known sports to be here, brackets have existed. And for the first time in bracketology history, we have said, you know what'd be a great idea? If we take that 12 team and we make them the 4th ranked seed, and then we take that 10 seed and we make them the 3 ranked seed. Now, why would we do that? Fairness and inclusivity, coach, because we know that the Mountain West Conference Championship is just as important as the SEC Championship. Since I can't even speak right now. Since freaking when has that ever happened? Since when have we ever looked at the 12th ranked seed and said, you know what? Through 13 games, we think Arizona State is ranked 12th, and we think Texas is the 3rd best team in college football. You know what we ought to do, Johnny? We ought to make that 12th ranked team and give them the 4th seed. And then we ought to take Texas and we ought to make them play round 1. Why? Fairness, inclusivity. Stupid. All we had to do was say, congrats, Boise State. You're the highest ranked mountain or mid-major football team, which means you get to be included. It doesn't mean you get to a bye. It doesn't mean you get an automatic seed. So yeah, we have mismatched. We have mismatched seeding. We have mismatched matchups. That's what we got. Because we thought it'd be a good idea to just be like, yeah, Power 4, highest rank, give them a top seed. Oh yeah, Power 5 or mid-major team, give them a seeding too. And the highest ranking, whatever. Stupid, goofy. What is it? Highest ranked 4 conference champions get automatic buys. That's silly. We know these conferences are not created equal. We know these conferences are not created equal. We know that. We know the SEC and the Big Ten are superior. The rankings even show that. They know that. They tell us that. Then they jack their own bracket up by doing this automatic buy stuff. It's stupid. We have Notre Dame and Georgia, a 1.5 point spread. We have Ohio State and Oregon, a 1.5 point spread. And then we have Penn State and Boise, a 10.5 point spread. And we have Texas and Arizona State, a 13.5 point spread. Goofy. Oh, other thing that I learned about this weekend in college sports. Ain't no saving the whales, paying the teachers, or seeking world peace when games are decided on the field. When people get blown out, y'all ain't out here bitching about the zebras. But when you lose one by 17 points, by God, you feel like you're able to bitch about the zebras missing 3 calls. When you lose it by 3 possessions, you're willing to bitch about 3 calls. But when you lose it by 5 possessions, your ass is tucking tail, walking home, talking about firing your coach or changing the offensive system. But you don't want world peace when you lose by 40. Why is that? Oh, because Brooks, those were close games and those calls mattered. I guess refs only miss calls in close games, right? I guess refs only don't call holding in tight 1-score games. Is that what I'm being told? Okay. Guess you only got to save the whales when one of them roll up on the beach. You know, you only got to clean up the ocean when a turtle get one of them Coke can things stuck around his neck. That's the only time we got to get rid of the trash in the ocean. Already talked about losing weight. Let's preview these matchups. Texas versus Arizona State, Penn State versus Boise State. You know what we call that? We call that the can these blue chip rosters who notoriously have great line of scrimmage players, can they stop the run against teams who historically don't have the aforementioned players that we were talking about? Can Penn State, a football team who, by the way, I'm one of these guys too. People shit on Penn State. They always talk about how they can't win the big games, or whatever. Penn State, as long as James Franklin has been there, hell, as long as I've been covering college football, Penn State's got a top 12 blue chip roster. Like Penn State, top 12 drafted roster too. Hell, maybe top 8. Like Penn State has dudes. If you don't know that, if you don't believe that, I don't know what to tell you. You can make fun of quarterback play in years past. You can make fun of James Franklin. You can make fun of their performances against Ohio State and Michigan and the premier teams in that conference. You can make fun of whatever you want. What you can't say is that they don't have dudes. You can't do it. Look at their roster. Look at the tape. They got blue chippers everywhere. Left tackle, first rounder, defensive edge rusher, first rounder, linebackers, third rounders, safeties and corners, NFL football players, running backs, NFL football players. The only thing they've never had in terms of first round caliber quality right now is quarterbacks and wide receivers. That's it. Both kind of mutually tied together, shockingly enough, right? But that's it. But across from that, they've got blue chippers. So you're telling me the defensive line from Penn State that's got, I don't know, a plethora of NFL football players can't go out and load up, stop the run against Boise State. I'm inclined to believe that they are. Vegas is inclined to believe that they are. And everyone and their mama will go study Oregon versus Boise State tape, and they'll tell me that Ashton Genty put up a $185 against that football team, and Oregon had to win with special teams. And I'm going to go study it, and we're going to bring it up for you, and we're going to show it to you, and we're going to try to make ideals about it too. But in reality, they got, Power 5 football players. They've got NFL caliber football players. They've got man meat in that defensive line. I expect them to give problems. As do I, Texas's defensive line with Arizona State. Like, I love Cam Scatterbo. I love fighting Kenny Dillingham's. I love the fact that Kenny Dillingham's not only coach of the year in the Big 12, but he's a Rod Wave fan. That makes me like, I want to buy a Arizona State Red Devils or Sun Devils jersey. I'm here for you. I am a fan. However, good luck. I mean, we're gonna have to test Cam Scatterbo pregame, postgame with the memory test. All right, I think we're gonna see 40 totes for 75 yards. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna look physical. It's gonna look painful. And I expect Texas to win the football game. Ohio State and Oregon, coin flip me. Shit, guys, if Ohio State plays like that, not even Ohio State, if Will Howard plays like that, Jesus. Holy hell. Will Howard deep state crying, just taking fat L's left and right. And then the Georgia versus Notre Dame, quote unquote rematch from 2021 and 2019. Boy, are those two teams going to look like Spider-Man memes, right? We're going to have to lean on defense, running the football, protecting the quarterback, not turning it over, right? They're going to look identical in terms of styles or a recipe for winning, right? Recipe for winning for Notre Dame and Georgia both look like this. Can the quarterback throw for 220 yards or around that? Can he go 20 for 30? Can our quarterback go 20 for 30 today? Can he avoid a drastic turnover in the red zone? Can he rush for 15 attempts for 65 yards? Can we do that? And can the running backs go for another 180? If we can do that, we're going to win. I mean, it's the same exact recipe on the defensive side of the football. We got to stop the run. It's the same exact recipe on both sides of the football for both those football teams. I think it's a very intriguing matchup. It also makes me wonder why you even choose to win the SEC championship game, right? I mean, Jesus. Would you rather be playing Arizona State or Notre Dame? Would you rather be playing Ohio State or Boise State? I think we all know the answer to those questions. Okay. Weird time. Not a weird time to be on this network. What a tremendous time to be here. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel as well. We have a Notre Dame What to Expect film study being recorded tomorrow in this building. Might double down and do a film study on Ohio State's entire emergence. I'm gonna just swallow that one. Okay. Instead of running from Ohio State fans, I am going to come to this microphone for the next week and embrace you shitting down my neck. How about that? Appreciate you for being here. Love you. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button on your way out. We'll see you tomorrow.